So if there's any of you that are embarrassed by the way feminism is going right now, on National Women's Day, you should be hanging your head in shame. That there was enough women that are so weak that they needed to have their own their birthday wasn't enough, Mother's Day wasn't enough, Secretary's Day wasn't enough, whatever the fuck. We need to have National Women's Day. And on that day, we'll fight for equality. We'll have our own national holiday to fight for equality.
Why do we fall, Bruce?
No, fuck that shit. Ain't the same thing. Like, this is gonna be great. Watch how I weave this tale. You think I didn't remember National Men's Day? You think I didn't remember? Come on. You know I tricked you. Those of you who decided to throw National Men's Day in my face. However, you should have done more than just look for the Wikipedia link. Just saying. You should have actually read up on National Men's Day. It's interesting. You see, National Women's Day is all about equality, which you have, and wage gap, which is by your choice more or less. And all manner of other fucking horse shit. The patriarchy and rape culture. And all this dumb fuck shit. National Men's Day. That's where we like to have civilized political debate regarding how we're going to reduce the rate of male suicide. Because it's rampant amongst men. I think it's the second, number 2 on how men die. Suicide. Personally, I blame women. I think it's because we have to deal with you. I think the ridiculousness just drives us crazy. But I'm biased. So, no. I think that's something to be discussed. We don't talk about that nearly enough. The fact that men work extraordinarily dangerous jobs. Like work deaths. That's another problem. It's another thing that's rampant. Divorce. How guys just get fucked in the ass in divorces. Custody. How guys almost never get custody. It's pretty much no matter what's going on with the mother. Dude, we want to discuss important actual issues where we're being fucked in the ass. Things that should change, realistically. Things that are not cool. You shouldn't lose half of your income because you and your wife break up. Even if she gets a job, you still lose half your income. That's why I don't date. Because there's no fucking way I could survive a divorce. It's not going to happen. Are you crazy? And God forbid I have children with a woman. I'm a pragmatist. It's one of those things I feel I could do without in my life. Because the risk far outweighs the reward. You think that's a healthy mindset to have? There are a lot of women thinking that way? Fuck no. There's a lot of guys thinking that way. It's called MGTOW. I remember National Men's Day. I remember in Great Britain.
And just to give you a flavour, Mr. Chairman, of the type of things that may come up and which will be part of International Men's Day, I'm not entirely sure why it's so humorous, but to discuss issues such as men's shorter life expectancy, wider male health issues, many of which go unreported through embarrassment of men to sort of go along and talk about these things. The high suicide rate amongst men, the propensity for violence against men. There's many male victims of domestic violence, again, as something that goes very much unreported because of lots of embarrassment about it. The underachievement of boys in education compared to girls. The issues around father-child relationships and often the way that fathers sometimes feel they don't get a fair crack of the whip in terms of custody of their children and things like that. These are all issues that affect an awful lot of people around the country. Whether people agree with some people's views or not. I think it's important that the House of Commons debates these issues. I think people can recognise that they are all very real issues for many people in the country. And so in the spirit of gender equality, given that we have the debate each year on International Women's Day, which I suspect will continue under this committee, I thought it would only be fair that we had an opportunity to debate these issues under the flag of International Men's Day, which is this year on Thursday the 19th of November.
Thank you very much. Questions? Jess?
You have to excuse me for laughing, that the idea that men don't have the opportunity to ask questions in this place is a frankly laughable thing. As I say, as the only woman on this committee, it seems like every day to me is
Well, I wasn't making, with respect, I wasn't making...
Do you hear that shit? Every day is Men's Day. 13 men a day kill themselves. How is every day Men's Day? Where's our fucking kick-ass, upbeat hip-hop fucking Men Are So Great video? Where's our commercial? Where's our kick-ass little spot? Where's our you go get 'em guys? Where's our attaboy? Good job. Pat on the back. Fucking, you gotta be kidding me with this shit. How does it compare? How on earth does it compare? You want to know how it compares? Because largely, the things that we want to do, such as discuss important issues, gets laughed at. Literally laughed at. You just notice she literally laughed at it. But not only that, the comparison is they both involve women setting up events. I remember National Men's Day. I remember in Australia.
I recently heard about a conference taking place in Melbourne for International Men's Day, which will apparently inspire men to connect, grow and transform into something. They don't really say what. Now, the event organiser I've never heard of, an organisation called the Australian Men's Network, which according to their website, australianmensnetwork.com, is a not-for-profit organisation. Now, when you click on the website's one and only link to ticketbooth.com, you'll notice the exorbitant prices they're looking to charge for tickets to this event. But then you might notice something else that's rather strange, and it's this bit that says, the International Men's Day event is proudly brought to you by the Australian Women's Network in conjunction with the Australian Men's Network. Now that got me thinking, what do we know about this Australian Men's Network? Well, we know that it's a not-for-profit organisation, so I thought I'd start there to see what I could find. So I went to the Australian Charities and Not-for-Profits Commission and did a search, and they had no record of an Australian Men's Network. So then I went to the Australian Business Register's website to see if I could find a current Australian business number, and what do you know? There isn't one. So then I thought, well, maybe the Australian Men's Network is just a trading name belonging to another organisation. So I went to the Australian Securities and Investments Commission website, or ASIC for short, and did a business name search. And it turns out no such business name is registered. So the Australian Men's Network is not a not-for-profit organisation. In fact, it's not an organisation at all. So you might remember that ticket website we saw earlier said that the event was proudly brought to us by the Australian Women's Network in conjunction with the Australian Men's Network. So it made sense to have a look at this Australian Women's Network to see what I could find out. So I had a look at their website and, hang on, that logo looks familiar. It looks familiar because they are the same logo, and it turns out that this event is being held by the Australian Women's Network, not the Australian Women's Network in conjunction with the Australian Men's Network, because the Australian Men's Network doesn't exist. It kind of seems like the Australian Men's Network has just been invented out of thin air to make this event seem more legit. But why would the Australian Women's Network want to do that? Could it have something to do with the fact that the Australian Women's Network is a global referral network which provides an online platform for women in business to connect and achieve success in business through online referrals and networking? The mission created is to inspire greatness in women in all areas of their lives, and the Australian Women's Network was created by women for women? I reckon that may very well have something to do with it, Bearing. Seems that way, doesn't it? This is Bearing, by the way. I'm making this video in conjunction with Bearing, because apparently you can do things in conjunction with yourself now. It does seem that way. I mean, if we're talking about an International Men's Day event, proudly brought to you by the Australian Men's Network sounds a lot more legit than proudly brought to you by the Australian Women's Network, doesn't it? Sure fucking does, Bearing. And then, ladies and gentlemen, there is the White Ribbon Connection. See, White Ribbon are an Australian charity all about preventing men's violence against women. Now, why do I bring up White Ribbon? Because White Ribbon are the sole beneficiary of this event. All proceeds from this event support White Ribbon Australia.
Gotcha, bitch!
So the Australian Women's Network want to take the proceeds and goodwill generated by International Men's Day and redirect it all back to women. And it would appear that they're trying to do so by deceiving the public.
One of the main things that over my 30 years in the corporate world was trust. Trust is one of the most important members, advocates of each other's success. And I think if you can have the trust, that builds the strength and courage to seek each other's work together, and you lift each other up, because I think these days, today, people need that, the trust, the strength and the courage, because we're all so busy and we've all got so much on.
Okay, well that didn't make too much sense, Francesca, but something about trust. Now, I've only put together a quick outline of what's gone on here. I strongly recommend you watch a far more in-depth video by my good mate Independent Man. Link in the description. Cheerio.
Yeah, I remember International Men's Day. I remember that it was a joke. I remember that nobody cared. I remember that nobody knew about it because nobody advertised it. I remember it. I remember. Don't think I don't. We don't have a National Men's Day. We have a joke. How is there a comparison? How on earth? This used to be me. A sad, sad puppy. No food in the fridge, holes in my pillowcase, and all out of... Recently, things have been going great. You all have helped me out a lot. Now I have a fridge full of takeout, new pillowcases, and let's be honest, I'm never out of... But the reason that things have changed around for me like that is because I've had a lot of pressure taken off of me for buying stuff, for making videos for you guys. You guys helped me buy a new capture box when my old one broke. You helped me buy a new PC when the other one turned into poop. And you helped me get to Perfect Circle concerts so that I could share that experiences with you guys. Recently I've kind of had to change the way I do things, but I found another way. You can find me on Maker's Support. I'll have a link in the description, and if you'd like to donate money to keep this sort of thing going, then that's where you can do it. Thank you very much. Have a good day. I hope you have fun.